Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a good day. My name is David. I will be the main facilitator, the main trainer for your upcoming CAS trip to Laos. Today we'll go through just kind of an overview of a little bit of the program. I'll talk to you a little bit about the destination, the itinerary, a little bit about the service project that you'll be involved with, and just some other sort of pieces as it relates to logistics and planning and whatnot. Uh, so Laos as a country, I'm not sure if any one of you have been there, but it is a relatively diverse nation with a lot of ethnic minority communities spread across the nation. I like to say that it's a very sort of, in many ways, authentic part of Asia, as the nation is sort of lagging behind quite a bit in terms of development. That is also obviously a key challenge that the country isn't necessarily sort of modernizing or progressing in the same way that the region is. But it also makes for, in many ways, a sort of relatively simple life that is also really interesting to sort of engage and uh, learn more about, and that's certainly something that we'll do, because we'll spend a lot of time in sort of relatively small communities out in sort of quite remote areas of the country. There's some really amazing nature, very green, very lush, a lot of nice mountains, as you can see here in the picture. I also want to say that we're very privileged to as a provider, to work with HCIS again. We've done that for many years. We actually completed. You helped us complete a project which was called the Eco Bungalow project, which we did in Laos. This is a picture from one of the sites, which had the purpose of that project was to essentially generate income through tourism. And so we're very grateful for the sort of continued support of the school, and looking forward to working with you guys here in May, when the trip is planned for. But more about that later. So, as I mentioned, some of the key challenges of the country is that it's one of the most contaminated country of UXO, which is unexploded ordnance, which is left from the Vietnam War. The picture that you can see here in the slide is basically like a school bell that they hit when recess is over, which is actually an old bomb shell, right, that someone found. So there's many sort of a lot of evidence and how the war that sort of ended a long time ago actually still impacts the country, and things like this that you can see sort of left over from the conflict, right? There's obviously a lot of development challenges as they relate to education, job opportunity, economy, that we'll talk more about during the course of the trip. One of the main sort of challenges is access to education, which is the question that we're gonna sort of, or the issue that we're gonna address. Many schools, a lot of villages, remote villages, have access to primary schools, middle schools, but they don't have access to high schools or higher education. So this is the area we're going to be working with, which is this town called Luang Prabang. And as you can see, that's a relatively small town, and then there's a lot of sort of quite remote villages spread around Luang Prabang. And I don't know if you can see my pointer here, but our village that we're working with is around this area. And a lot of villages that are based in these valleys, kids have to basically hike, 2, sometimes 3 hours a day in order to get to school, right? And so what they often do is that they build these sort of shelters made out of bamboo, which isn't particularly safe, nor particularly, not very stable. So the project that we have embarked on is to build these dorms. This is actually also a project that HCIS has been contributing to in previous years. So this dorm that you can see into the right is basically it's already a project that's been it's finished and students are staying there. And then as you can see to the left, this is kind of a continuation of that same initiative. So something that we're continuing to develop. So we're very excited about that, and that's essentially how you fit into the project. Is you're going to help us complete, you're going to help us build this structure, which is going to be made out of Adobe, which is essentially mud, environmentally friendly mud brick that you learn more about how to build and how to make. So but it's not just all work. We'll have plenty of fun as well. We're going to visit some waterfalls. We'll see bear rescue center. We'll visit some temples, uh, and so there's plenty of other sort of cultural and uh, adventure type activities as well on the trip, which will be cool. Uh, in a nutshell, this is what the itinerary of the program looks like. So you depart from Singapore on the 11th. You'll arrive in Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos, on the 11th, and we're going to go to Cope Visitor Center to learn more about the effects of the Vietnam War. Then on the 12th, we'll take the train up to Luang Prabang. We're going to head out to the village, do a bit of an orientation, which we're going to be staying in over the course of the next few days. And then we'll basically have 2 full days of service work where we, work on the project. We do school visits. We interact and engage with the community. And then on the 15th, we'll hike out from the village. We'll visit the waterfall. We'll do the bear rescue center. We'll head back to Vientiane with train. So that's a pretty full on day with a lot of activities and a lot of travel. And then on the 16th, we're back in Vientiane. We have brunch and basically, get ourselves to the airport for an early afternoon flight back to Singapore. Uh, the flights looks like this. You'll depart on the 11th at around 12:05. You'll get to Vientiane at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the return is on the 16th. And at 2:40, and the return, and you land in Singapore at 6:30. So this is flights that we have arranged with Scoot. Uh, in order for you to sort of count this as a CAS part of your CAS requirements, you need to be engaged in some pre-trip work, and one of the main projects that you'll engage with is basically doing a vlog, sort of documenting and showing uh, showing the experience that you're going through in Laos, and the sort of the evidence of learning and the evidence of reflection that you have throughout the trip. And so one team, you're going to be divided into different teams, and one team is going to be thinking more about sort of blogging and planning how this video, what it can look like. Essentially, one team is going to be engaged in sort of thinking about techniques and best practices and how you make vlogs. Another team will essentially be responsible for shooting it on the ground, making sure you get the footage that you need. And another team will be sort of part of the editing and sort of post production of the video to make sure that it kind of comes out in a sort of quite professional manner. So yeah, that's basically what I have for you today. There'll be a lot more information around sort of packaging lists and potential visa applications and things that you're gonna be working on, but that'll come a bit later. This is just basically an introduction to what you're gonna embark on, and hope you are excited for the journey ahead. We are, and I am certainly on my end, and looking forward to get to know you and to work with you here over the coming few months as we lead up to the trip, and eventually obviously meet you on the ground in Laos. Okay, thanks. That's all for today.